Hello and welcome to the Philippines. Today we're talking about using your cell phone or a cell phone overseas. What does it take? What do you need? What kind of phone? Will your phone work? Of course, if you're staying a short time, you probably want to use your phone if it's compatible with the system in that country. I signed up for Google Fi and their system. I bought a phone through them. You can use almost any Android phone, and several Apple phones also work on their plans. I'll get into that more a little bit later, but I also have a Philippine phone with a dual SIM card. First of all, let me cover some basics. Forgive me, those of you who are living in South America and Canada and Europe and Asia, Australia, New Zealand, Antarctica, and other far-reaching places. I'm going to use the USA phone system as an example, but basically you have two types of phones. You have GSM phones and CDM phones, two different operating systems, and they're not compatible in most cases. Most of the world operates on GSM, but you do find some companies using CDMA. And the Philippines uses GSM networks. If you have an AT&T T-Mobile track phone, and now even in the last few years, Verizon, Sprint, some others also have they have some phones with a what they call a world radio band in them. Even though it's CDMA, they have a band in some of their phones, not most of their phones, that will work in GSM type areas as well. You need an unlocked phone, which means that you're not locked to your carrier in your own country. If you want to use the system and use a new SIM in the country that you're going to be visiting. And some companies will do that even temporarily. They will unlock your phone for a month or two if you're going to be traveling internationally. So ask your company. I purchased a dual SIM unlocked phone before I left the USA, and the USA doesn't allow dual SIM. You can't be on two networks at the same time. I think that has to do with the company's policies. But here in the Philippines, I have two numbers with two different companies on the same phone. If you're going to use your home country phone and number, be sure that you have international and roaming, data roaming turned off, or you will have some very big bills. And be aware that international calls will probably cost anywhere from probably 20 cents a minute on up. If you plan to switch your phone or buy a new phone over to the system in the country that you're visiting, you need SIM card. You need a new SIM card from that country, and one of the companies that offer those. Globe and Smart and Sun are the three big ones here in the Philippines. And when I went to Vietnam, there again I just switched my SIM out. I immediately had a new number, Vietnamese number, and I bought credits, or what they call load, for about a month. You can purchase SIM cards and the load at many different types of retailers. At many international airports, there are also kiosks when you fly in. At Mactan International Airport here in the Philippines, I know they have kiosks set up. They will give you a free SIM. Usually it's about 40 pesos, less than $1. And then you buy the load up above that. That first SIM may include a little bit of load. I'm not absolutely positive, but you will need, so I suggest 300 or 500 pesos worth of load. In this case, each text is about 1 peso, I believe. And if you make a phone call, it is about 7 pesos per minute. When I first came here, I kept my T-Mobile system going. They had a plan, I think, for $30 a month. I think it's gone up. Somebody told me $50 a month now. And you can use it internationally. As long as you're on Wi-Fi, calls or texts are free. I think calls would be free on Wi-Fi as well. Anyway, you check with your carrier. They may have an agreement in different countries with their systems where you may use that phone overseas. My issue was the data they had was very slow here in the Philippines. I think it was set up with Smart, and so I finally just got myself a Philippine phone. I found it necessary to have a USA phone number after some time here, because whereas my bank and credit card companies used to email me a verification number anytime I wanted to log on to their websites, they stopped doing that. I called them, I said, let me give you my Philippine phone number. They said, no, we only send those out to US phone numbers. So it became more and more of a hassle not having a US phone. And so there are other options, and some of you know about those. Magic Jack is one. Jack is another option, and I have a Magic Jack, and I finally went with Google Fi. It's just much more convenient for me, and I understand that if you put the Magic Jack app on your phone and leave the Magic Jack plugged into your internet modem, that you can get and make calls from the USA in this case. Not sure if they're operating in Europe or not, but here it says US and Canada down here. Anyway, it's a system. You plug this thing into your computer or your modem, and you can make and receive, and you have a US or Canadian phone number, I believe, or a US phone number at least. I have decided to go with Google Fi, and I ordered a phone late last year. I had it shipped to a relative in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, and had her activate it and send it on to me. The Google Fi, F-I, it's a different kind of phone plan, and it makes my life more convenient and easier to manage, and it's also reasonably priced in my opinion. My average cost is about $26 to $28 a month, and I'll go over some of the pricing later. But they have they use 3 different networks, I think. T-Mobile, Sprint, and is it Alcatel? 3 different networks, and their phones will switch automatically between those towers to give you the best coverage. It also will go into use any of thousands and thousands of Wi-Fi hotspots when they can access them, and when they access the Wi-Fi systems, they also use their own VPN, virtual private network, to help protect your data and your privacy. Now, that is their phones that are designed specifically for the system, and there are a number of companies that make phones designed for Google Fi. I've got a Moto G7, and I'll go over some of the phones that are available. Almost any Android phone will work, is what I have read. So you have that option, just switching over. The thing is, your phone may not, unless it's programmed properly, may not do the automatic switching. It may just stay on T-Mobile's network in the USA. How that works overseas, I'm not quite sure. They have contracts and agreements with carriers in over 200 countries internationally. Data abroad for the same price as home, and no setup required, which means you land in a different country and you're ready to go with your number. And they run different specials on their various phones at any given time. I paid $200 about the end of November 2019, 200, and a week and a half later it was on special for 100. And they have, if you have 3 people in your group, you can get unlimited calls, texts, and data for $50 a piece, so $150 a month for 3 people, plus taxes, government fees, probably brings it up to 60 or so. Or flexible unit, I'm on a flexible plan, and I pay $20 a month, and I pay $10 per gigabyte of data, and I turn the data on when I need it. And no other time. Data abroad at no extra charge. The key is no extra charge. You're still charged for data at, like I am, I'm paying $10 per gigabyte. And that is capped at 6 gigabytes after $60. Uh, the rest is free pretty much up to, and you can also, in most cases, you can bring your old number over to the new plan. Easy to switch. Another nice thing is you're not locked in. You're not signing a contract, which is nice. So of course, if you were going to switch over to this plan, you would have to have an unlocked phone, so you're not locked into your present carrier. And you can add somebody to your plan without activation fees. A lot of these companies will charge you $30, $40 to activate another line. Usually to switch between plans as you go, and you can bring your phone in many cases. And I decided to buy a new phone. Mine was getting full and slowing down. And what you can do is go to this site here and see if your phone is compatible, and see what that brings up here, and click in your whatever phone brand you have here. And I clicked other, and I actually have a ASUS phone, ASUS. It's not listed here, but I suspect that it would still be compatible. Also works on Apple's network, so that's interesting. Google and Apple tend to be, well, they are competitors. They don't tend to be, they are very, very competitive competitors, and their phones will work on the system as well. Take a quick look at the phones that they have. This sounds like a paid advertisement, doesn't it? Actually, it is not paid, unfortunately. But I'm having good luck with that phone. In fact, as I'm out and about, oftentimes in areas where the cell signal isn't that good with Globe or Smart out here, actually sometimes on a number of occasions, my Google phone with the US phone number actually had faster data than what I could get from Globe or Smart. And I don't understand that. Perhaps it is the design and software in the phone that is of higher quality than the phone that I have. Anyway, you can get the Pixel, and you can put these on a monthly plan with no interest charge. I think up to 24 months, I believe. The 3A, this phone gets some really good reviews. Moto G7, this is what I bought. Oh, it's on sale today for $149. I could have saved $50. Over 200 destinations, 200 and reach when you're abroad. Data unlimited. 20 cents a minute for calls, and texts are unlimited. There again, you up to the point where you're paying, or they have an unlimited plan, and the flexible plan that I am on. $10 per each gigabyte for data, 20 cents a minute. If you're calling abroad from the USA, not abroad, not a girl. If you're calling a girl or anybody from the U.S., they have rates. You can check the destinations here. I've run into many foreigners who get very frustrated with the running out of load on their phones, their cell phones, when they come to this country or other countries as well, I'm sure. And so there's some basics to know. Keep your data turned off. Understand that you're being charged oftentimes data. You have apps on your phone running in the background even when you have data turned off, and they're using your data up. So you need to go in and individually turn all of those apps off so they don't have access to the internet. If you decide to buy a phone in the Philippines, they are available anywhere from about 2,500 pesos, about 50 US dollars, on up to as high as you want to go. All the major brands, Samsung and Apple. Watch out for knockoffs. Lots of knockoffs being sold here in the Philippines, and probably many other countries as well. This particular place in Ayala Mall, Phone Cell Plus, I think it's called, is where I bought a number of phones, buy my load at times, and other cell phone accessories. up in Ayala Mall. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe. Safe travels to you all wherever you're at, and I'll see you next time.